What's up, YouTube? This is Giant Above 3 here. I am making a kind of guide on how I ban things. Now, keep in mind, this is personal experience. I am a PC Diamond player. If you are a different rank or if you are on console, take what I say with a grain of salt because it might not apply to you. But I'm going to go over the reasons on the side why I would ban a character, and then I would go from bottom to top on like why I am banning them. So, starting from the top, safe to ban. If you are a one-trick pony, it's just safe to ban like any tank, to be honest, because you are not playing that tank. But also, these are also here because they either don't help out your team or there's no counter pick reason to pick it, and it's probably just bad for Queen for this character to exist for you, and I'll get to those later. Map dependent bans, so this one's specifically for like not necessarily environmental kills, but it's like how the map is designed, and how people usually play on those kinds of maps. And I'll get to these details later, but know that it's not every single map. So, for example, hard to reach map ban is like there's a lot of high ground or a lot of long distance sightlines like Dorado or Circuit Royale, in which it is hard for you to get to that person. Tight area maps, this is the exact opposite. This is like close quarters or like even a chokehold that you're going to struggle to get through if these characters exist. Flank or dive ban, this is not for you. As a queen, I don't struggle with dive characters. What I do struggle with is dead teammates. And these are, if you have like a Zenyatta on your team and they keep getting dove, maybe consider banning these guys and see if that helps you out. Be careful banning. So for one reason or another, banning these characters might not hurt you, right? If you are a one-trick pony, Zarya can go higher up in the list, but this is for like just queen mains in general, so that's why she's there. But I will explain like why you might or might not want to have this character banned. Just be careful with it. It's not necessarily a don't ban this character, but it's a be smart about it situation. And then why would you ever ban these characters? Maybe it's just me. I don't have an issue. I know some queens have an issue with Cassidy, but I just don't find an issue. Or like maybe they will help me out as well. It really just depends. And so without further ado, let's actually start this tier list bottom to top. Soldier 76, he's just like a character. I don't know. He's a dude. Overall good. I don't ever see a reason to ban him. So so whenever I like want to ban a character, it's mostly because like they specialize. They have a high amount of value on a specific kind of map or situation, and Soldier's just kind of there. Cassidy can stop your rampage, true, but he's also an anti-flanker. If your team is suffering against a flank character, or even like just high mobility in general, Cass is there to back you up. Also become hit scan for you in case they have like a Pharah or an Echo. I don't see a reason to ban Cass. Juno can speed boost. You can also speed boost the enemy team, but that's what Queen shouts for also. It's like if they are fast, you can speed yourself up and get yourself to them. I don't see a reason for ever banning Juno. Baptiste, if you find him annoying, like a target ban, I suppose, because he's got that immortality field, I can see it. But like for the most part, like if he throws that immortality field, I just carnage both him and the immortality field, since like the 5-meter range usually can get both. And then he's dead. I don't know. Or you can even like knife him to pull him out if he's on the enemy team. But he can also help out you. He's also a hit scan that can help you against like the flyers as well. So I don't really see a reason to ban Baptiste. Let's talk about the be careful banning, because this is the most important part of this video. Why would I put Zarya in be careful banning? If you are a one-trick pony, it doesn't matter. They're just going to pick whatever, right? But the mentality on the enemy team is there. They don't know that you're a one-trick pony, right? Unless you like declare in like chat or something like that. If you ban Zarya, they will say, what the fuck bans Orisa? And they will go Orisa, which I find as a harder matchup as Queen. And if they start off as Orisa, then they will have their perks sooner. Now, if they start off as a different character and they're like, oh, let me just counter swap to Orisa, right? They'll have a late start, but usually at that point, they're not in like the mentality. They have to switch their gameplay around a little bit maybe. So I just don't ban Zarya. Zarya, you can also like throw your knife at her while she's not bubbled, and then when she bubbles, she still has her knife in her. You can pull her out of position and then blow her bubbles out, and then she's got nothing. So I just personally don't ban Zarya unless I ban Orisa first. Like if I can go like Orisa's my number one and then Zarya's my number two, sure. But I just don't see a reason to ban Zarya. It's a matchup dependent thing too. Like if you suck against Zarya, I can see it, but watch out for the Orisa. Reaper. So both shotgun characters, they both want to be close range. You know, Queen and Reaper. I can see a reason to want to ban Reaper as like also like a flanker kind of situation, but Reaper also helps you out against like the Hog matchup, against the Maga matchup. So I don't. He plays really well with you as well. If you shout, you give him speed boost, he goes in. He wraiths out, you shout to boost him out or something like that. Just the synergy's kind of there. So I would be careful banning Reaper. I don't actually even see Reapers banned in my elo, but Kiriko, this one's also a huge one that gets like banned a lot. If you ban Kiriko, they can play Ana with no repercussion. They just throw a anti grenade, or anti heal, whatever, biotic grenade. That's what it is, and then you are purpled, right? If you get slept, you're kind of dead because at that point the entire team is probably like looking at you. You wake up, you're purpled, and then you just die. You explode. Best thing you can do is shout to try to keep yourself alive, or if you have a life weaver to grip you out, pull you, whatever, right? Then you can do that. So banning Kiriko is kind of scary because she's also your out. If you, and I'll talk about this later, but if you ban Ana instead of banning Kiriko, if the enemy team has a Kiriko, they can stop your rampage, but other than that, they don't get a lot of value out of Suzuing your jagged blades, and then Carnage is more about like being smart about. So, and same with rampage, I suppose, but I don't really see Kiriko as like an issue if that's the case, or if you have like an Ashe on your team, or you have an Ana on your team. Then bait out the cleansing with like the burning or the anti-grenade, and then do your rampage or carnage situation. So, moving on to Ana. Now, this is the caveat of like, hey, you just talked about if you ban Ana first, it's not so bad for Kiriko. But if you ban Ana, your other tank matchups might be harder. Maga's biggest counter is Ana, by far. I don't care what you say. You might say it's Genji. Sure, go for it. I think it's Ana. If he goes, aha, like for his cardiac overdrive, and you purple him, he gets zero value out of that. And they would need a Kiriko for that. So, like, it changes that matchup so much. Ana also helps against, sometimes if you have like a flank kind of enemy backline, thing coming at you, Ana can kind of deal with them. So, and also, like, if you're Ana just, like, purples and sleep darts the enemy team in general, it creates so much advantage for you. Also, Ana works really well for Queen. If you get nanoed, you become a massive fucking threat. You can become from a glass cannon to just, like, a freaking, like, tank. Oh, you are a tank, but you get the point. And your biotic grenades not only help out the supports healing you, but also you healing yourself with wounds. So, I don't know if I really like banning Ana, but up to you. Zenyatta is also the case of an anti-enemy tank kind of situation. If they're playing Roadhog, if they're playing Hazard, if they're playing Maga, I can see a reason for wanting to keep Zenyatta in there. Lifeweaver is kind of like on the same boat. Let's just talk about them while we're here. If they're playing Roadhog, the only out you really have is a well-timed Kirisuzu or like a well-timed sleep dart from Ana. But the best scenario is a reactable life grip from Lifeweaver. So it's more of like a get out of jail free card. Though I do understand Queen's wanting to ban Lifeweaver because it's so hard to kill him, especially with his like pedal platform that he can get away with, and then his dashes, and he life grips his entire team. So I can see how he can be annoying, but just be careful if your team can play Lifeweaver. Brigitte is there because if they have a dive flank, Brigitte can help out your backline by like stopping them and stuff. But Brigida is also kind of nice as like a like playing close to you situation where you can keep getting that inspire up. So I don't know if I would really ban Brigida. I also don't have an issue with banning Brigida myself, but on specific boop situations, I have versed Brigida Lucio comps, and all they do is boot me, and I get zero value because I can't carnage. And half the time when I Gracie someone towards me, they boot me away from the person that I just pulled in. So, and that's just such a low cooldown too for boop. So, but like be careful banning any of these characters. As a one trick, you're not gonna really play these characters, but if you're just like a flex main, maybe consider banning like the divers who will go to your backline and just kill your team. I don't really see a situation where you will play with a Venture unless they are a Venture enthusiast and they'll start off with Venture. So like typically pretty safe to like ban, but like you can play with a Venture, so like I don't recommend it. Also, Venture's not really that bad on like specific maps. It's really like just like a more playstyle kind of situation, so I don't see Venture being a ban worthy pick. Tracer is being highly banned recently because of her buffs. I don't see her really being banned if your supports can handle it, but right now she's doing a ton of damage, so I see a lot of her being banned. If your team can't handle it, maybe just don't ban Tracer, but I understand the buffs are scary. Genji is a decent, diver and stuff, but also just like Genji is like the character that most Smurfs play, so I can see you target banning Genji, but on like specific maps or if your comp can handle it, I don't know why you would ban Genji. Sombra is more, again, like your supports are being flankable. Now, a lot of supports are like little, like, honestly, like whiny bitches, and they they just ban Sombra because they don't like playing against her. I kind of get it. It's fine. If they have a bad time against Sombra, you want your team to thrive, so I can see that as well. Let's talk about tight areas. So if there is a chokehold or like a small room, so for example, Mei walls you off and all of a sudden you're disconnected from your team and they can't get to you because you're just in such a small room. If there's a chokehold where all Reinhardt has to do is hold up a shield and then their backline kills you, Junkrat spamming that chokehold, or even like Numbani, I find Junkrat super hard to fight against because not only can he have access to high ground, but he can spam the path for me to get to high ground, and as long as he's smart about where I am, he can just kind of stop me from getting to the high ground without half my health disappearing. Symmetra is also kind of that situation where it's like, if she places 3 turrets, then I'm going to have a hard time going through that chokehold. I can kind of see the reason for ban there. Also, on like Lijiang Tower, where she can get to the point way faster and her team's already there, I would struggle because it's kind of like another like chokehold situation. So I can see the 4 of these being banned depending on the map. Hard to reach map. So this is like stuff like Circuit Royale. If they have access to high ground before you do, and it's kind of hard because they're kind of pokey. For example, we got Sigma and Ramatra. I can see those 2 being banned. They're like really good on those maps. If there's a map with a lot of high ground, low ground, like Paraíso, how do you pronounce that? Dorado. I can see Diva getting banned, and Monkey can kind of go in here as well, but also like any of these flank divers as well, if it's like a good map for them as well. Long range, or even like able to climb or get to the high ground themselves, Hanzo, Sojourn, Freya, Widow. I get that everyone's banning Freya right now because she's like, she can hit people for a lot of damage really quickly, and then like your team just kind of dies. I really do hope that they kind of nerf that. Freya right now feels like Sojourn was on Sojourn release, so hopefully Freya ends up becoming kind of a, I want her to be like more of like a mobility kind of playstyle that doesn't just murder everyone. But I don't know. The developers got to kind of think about this one. But, Widowmaker, long sight lines, Ashe, long sight lines. I have Torb here because, so you can knife Torbjorn and pull him to low ground. But if he's hiding behind his turret, it's kind of hard for just Queen to kill the turret by herself. Thankfully, Torb has a lot of counters, but your team needs to play those counters. Like, just go like Hanzo or Soldier 76 or something like that to help you get that turret out of the way, please. But for you, it's kind of like I kind of see why, but usually Torb's not that big of a deal. Echo and Pharah are just kind of flyers. Honestly, and I'll talk about this later, I would rather ban Mercy than ban these two because these two on their own, you can still poke them out, but with a pocket, they are incredibly hard to kill. So, map dependent bans. So this isn't necessarily a like environmental kill, but it's also just kind of like a it could be a combination of things. If there's like a like corner that Hawk can pull you around to just kill you, that's kind of like I would ban him as well. If it's like a chokehold kind of map as well, Lucio can just keep booping you back, and it kind of acts like this one. That's why I didn't put these in like a environmental kill or even like a tight area map ban, because it really just depends on the map. I usually ban Hog. I don't see a reason not to ban Hog, but I don't have him as safe to ban because on specific maps he just doesn't do anything. Like if you're on like Dorado, what's Hog gonna do? Like maybe like pull you around a corner, but I don't really know about that one. Now, safe to ban is really like, unless you also play these characters, I don't see a reason to not ban these characters. Orisa is just such a pain to fight. Hazard's good on like a bunch of different maps because he's like an all-around just tank. Mauga is good on every map that Queen is good on. I want to say I don't know of a Queen map, you know, like maybe like Suravasa, but like I don't see Ramatra being like negative on that map, you know. Bastion's kind of the same way, where it's like I see Bastion being kind of good, if not like neutral on like the maps that Queen's good on. And I also don't see Queen really playing with a Bastion. Now, I'm not saying you can't play with a Bastion, as well as that you can't play with any of the other supports on this list. But I don't see a reason really not to ban Bastion. But I'm not saying to ban Bastion. I'm not like your go-to should be Bastion. I'm just saying like if you ban Bastion, whatever, right? Mercy. This one's going to be controversial. Yeah, words. I've gotten to that point where I need water, but moving on. Why would you ban Mercy? Oh, no, it's just the Mercy hate. It's not the Mercy hate. I don't hate Mercy as a character. Mercy has her spot as a poke assist character. She's really good with helping out like Ramatra, Junkrat, Pharah, Ashe, etc. But as a Queen, I don't like playing with Mercy because I want to play close in the fight, and Mercy's going to try to just live. And it's really hard for Mercy to get the kills when I die near the enemy team. Just like, you know, imagine like I get pulled in from Roadhog. She's going to look for the res, but how is she going to get it? I'm right next to a Roadhog. So I don't really see that being a viable option. I don't like playing with Mercies. As Queen, just throwing that caveat out there. So I would ban Mercy to stop her assisting Pharah's, Echoes, high ground users, you know, pokers, etc. Iari is also kind of like a anchor character where she wants to position her pylon somewhere that like she's already controlling, and I don't really see her being utility to Junker Queen. So there's no really reason to ban Iari, but there's no reason to not ban Iari, so that's why she's in the safe to ban kind of situation. I don't know. She's just kind of there. Moira, I have her as safe to ban. She's not in like why would you never ban. I do see a reason to ban Mercy Moiras. Even in Diamond, there are players who are like, oh yeah, I don't know how to aim, I'm just gonna play Mercy Moira. And so if you just ban the both of them and your team can play like, I don't know, like Ana or something, then the enemy team just kind of like crumbles because they don't have a good support. But that's why Moira's in safe to ban and not in the why would you ever ban situation, because you can play with a Moira. But usually Moiras are people's fallback answers, and unless you're Overwatch League and you are very coordinated with your Moira gameplay with the Queen, I don't see a reason not to ban Moira. But hopefully this helps someone out, maybe just discussion. If you disagree with any of these, please tell me in the comments below. Like I'm cool with discussion. I don't mind saying that I'm wrong. If you're like, soldiers should be safe to ban, sure, that's fine, right? Now, if you're like soldiers should be in hard to reach high map ban, I'd like to see an argument. You might be like, because soldier can aim longer distance than queen. I can kind of see soldier 76 being banned, but like there are other better options I think to ban. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.